Well, another top story, local story we are following tonight. We are learning some graphic details about the moment that police found two children dead in a southwest Baltimore apartment. Their mother now charged with their deaths. WJZ's live Avajoy Burnett has the charging documents, and we want to warn you, the details are very disturbing. Avajoy?
Denise, those charging documents set up a very graphic scene inside of the apartment. Someone called that maintenance worker in because of an odor. When the maintenance worker went inside, the two children were found dead, and we want to warn you, the details once again could be disturbing. A judge ordered that Jamiria Hall be held without bond as she waits for the next steps in their case. The 28-year-old has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder after her children were found dead Tuesday in their southwest Baltimore apartment. According to charging documents, Hall drowned and strangled her daughter, 6-year-old Denaria Thomas. When a maintenance worker went to check on their apartment because someone complained about an odor, Denaria was found lying face up in the bathtub with an apparent clothing object wrapped around her neck. Her brother, 8-year-old Davin Thomas, was found in a sleeping bag, and when a forensic examiner turned him over, a large knife was in the right side of his chest and a trash bag around his face and neck. Police say their bodies were decomposing.
When you see children that are dead, that's a visible sign of trauma. Children were dead inside of the home.
Investigators said at least one person saw the mom and children last week Thursday, but then screams were heard coming from the apartment that night, and someone yelled, "Mommy, no." Hall had legal troubles in the past. In 2018, she was accused of setting fire to a house while her children were there. Hall once recorded a podcast where she appeared to reference the joys and struggles of motherhood.
Y'all been driving me crazy, but I love y'all.
I too.
One neighbor said the little girl was her daughter's best friend.
I have no clue how I'm going to explain this to my baby.
Earlier today, attorneys requested a competency evaluation to determine her ability to stand trial, and the judge granted that request once again. She's being held with no bond. Live tonight, Avajoy Burnett for WJZ.
There's breaking news in Baltimore. Horrific new information after a mother is charged with murdering her 2 children. Court documents show a neighbor may have unknowingly heard the moments leading up to the deaths of Davin and Denaria Thomas. And just today, police released their mother's mugshot. Jamiria Hall is charged with murder. Now, we want to warn you, some of the details you're about to hear may be disturbing.
That's right. Alexa Ashwell begins our team coverage with the charging documents released today. Alexa, they are so disturbing.
Yes, Mary, these details in this document are horrific. It details how the children were found and that neighbors heard screams. What it doesn't say is why. Why kill these children? A question that remains.
That's what a neighbor told police. They heard 6-year-old Denaria screaming from inside her home in southwest Baltimore August 19th, according to these court documents. The little girl and her brother Davin found dead inside the apartment 5 days later. 2 children now gone, according to police, at the hands of their mother, Jamiria Hall. Her charging documents detailing the shocking and disturbing details surrounding their murders. A case that began this past Tuesday when a maintenance worker discovered the children dead inside of their apartment in southwest Baltimore after being asked to investigate a foul smell coming from the unit. These court documents detailing Davin was found lying face down in a sleeping bag in the living room, a knife at that scene, and his sister in the bathtub with a clothing object wrapped around her neck, both in a state of decomposition and no sign of their mother. The documents detail Jamiria Hall was last seen with her 2 children on August 19th outside the residence. That same night, a neighbor told police they heard Denaria screaming, "Mommy, no." Hall arrested the next day. According to the documents, a witness telling police she had gotten into an Uber and was heading for Baltimore County. There, she was taken into custody and later gave a full admission into detail as to how she murdered both of her children.
Now, these documents also mention the father of these children, his family telling us they tried to keep the children after Hall served a year in prison for arson. More on that at 5.
When you that some of the details you're about to hear are disturbing. Keith Daniels joins us more right now with what neighbors are saying. Keith?
Well, Kai, the details are in these charging documents. We're told how the children were found and about neighbors who heard screams. And tonight, one of those neighbors is telling his chilling story. It shook Ray Cherry from his sleep.
I heard the kids around 11:30.
He says screams of children and tussling that night seeped through his floor from the apartment below.
Whoever was down there was picking these kids up and they was crying. And one kid said, "Mommy, no, mommy, no, mommy." And I heard a little boy through the floor was kind of crying. And right after that, I didn't hear anything else.
Jerry said that happened last Thursday night, August 19th. 5 days later, according to these court documents, police found Denera and Davin Thomas, 6 and 8 years old, dead inside their apartment. Their mother, Jamara Hall, police say, confessing to the murders. The court documents with graphic details, including Davin found lying face down in a sleeping bag in the living room, stabbed with a large knife, and his sister in the bathtub with the clothing object wrapped around her neck, both in a state of decomposition. And no sign of their mother. According to investigator, Jamara Hall was last seen with her 2 children on August 19th outside the residence. The same night, Cherry says he was awakened by children screaming. The next day, police arrested Hall after she took an Uber to Baltimore County. Later, police say she gave a full admission in detail as to how she murdered both of her children. Cherry would later discover that what he unknowingly heard may have been the moments leading up to the deaths of Denera and Davin.
I'm weeping. I'm weeping because the kid, she didn't have to kill them kids. She didn't have to do it.
Well, Cherry was also one of the neighbors who alerted apartment management about the foul odor that was coming from inside the building, which of course led to that startling discovery of the children's bodies.